Hello, everyone. We are Kristen and Brianna, dietetic interns at Stony Brook University, currently completing our clinical observation hours. It's kind of like a residency for dietitians, which is required in order to sit for the registration exam. Our WIC program hires dietetic interns who have completed the same program in the past. This presentation is meant to give you some background on the Women, Infants, and Children, or WIC program, and how you may benefit from it. This presentation is given as part of the Stony Brook Medicine's Healthy Libraries program. It's a partnership with the Public Libraries of Suffolk County, the Suffolk Cooperative Library System Outreach Services Department, and it is supported in part by the American Heart Association of Long Island. The program is an interdisciplinary team of public health, nursing, and social work students whose aim is to provide evidence-based health information, screening, and case management to a diverse community of patrons in the public library setting, refer patrons to promote access to appropriate health and social services programs locally that will address their health and social support needs, for students to experience an interprofessional team and demonstrate the core competencies based on the Interprofessional Education Collaborative, or IPEC. Please take.
Prior to beginning my WIC rotation, I didn't know much about the program and all of its benefits. WIC is a nutrition and breastfeeding program that supports families by offering nutrition education, breastfeeding support, supplemental nutritious foods, and referrals to healthcare providers and agencies. WIC is funded by the federal government, and at Stony Brook, we have a grant to be able to run this program in Suffolk County.
Here at WIC, we educate and help pregnant women to deliver a healthy, full-term infant while maintaining optimum health. We want to minimize the risk of chronic disease and achieve optimum health for mothers during childbearing years, as well as provide you with resources and support for breastfeeding. Infants are at a primal time in development and growth, and we monitor them to ensure progress is normal. We look for any signs of abnormal weight loss or gain and provide information regarding healthy eating practices. We also monitor the growth and health of growing children. We want to ensure they're eating a well-balanced diet, receiving fruits, vegetables, and whole grains every day. Ensuring that your child is healthy and creating healthy eating habits with balanced meals.
Are you eligible for WIC? WIC is an income-based program, which we will discuss on the next slide, but before the program assesses income, we must make sure that you are categorically eligible. So what does that mean? If you are a pregnant woman, a breastfeeding mom, or your child is under the age of 5 years old, you are eligible. You must be a resident of New York in order to enroll, but you do not have to be a citizen. Any information you provide to the WIC program is confidential.
So how do we know your income eligibility? Certain applicants can be determined income eligible for WIC based on their participation in certain programs. These include people eligible to receive SNAP benefits, Medicaid, Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, or TANF, formerly known as AFDC, or Aid to Families with Dependent Children, individuals that are eligible to participate in other state-administered programs as well. You still may be eligible even if you don't have any of these and can be verified by a WIC staff member.
These are the income guidelines for WIC. If you are a family of 5, as seen highlighted, your income cannot be greater than $56,758 per year. If you were to come for a WIC appointment, you would be asked to prove income of family members.
Here are the main services the WIC program has to offer: nutrition education, referrals, breastfeeding support, and food benefit packages. We will go through them in more detail in the following slides.
Nutrition education and referrals. Typically, you would come into the office with all family members. Once in a while, you could be placed in a group session. Referrals help to meet the additional needs of participants and assist in improving health and/or achieving positive health outcomes. If we cannot provide for you, we will refer you to an outsource that can help. We want what's best to achieve optimal health goals and positive health outcomes, whether it's early childhood development, dentist, or postpartum depression.
During nutrition education appointments, some different topics that may come up are overweight, obesity, growth charts, juice intake, because though juice is included in WIC packages and can be a great source of vitamins and minerals for children, it's usually loaded with sugar. Remember to dilute your child's juice with water and only give them about 4 ounces per day. We'll also talk about fruit and vegetable consumption, iron levels, calcium intake, picky eaters. We can provide tips and tricks to encourage your child to eat more and to try new foods, physical activity, extended bottle use, because only water should be put in bottles and they should be weaned off of bottles by the age of 2, infant feeding, and cooking tips and recipes. During our sessions, when concerns, health issues, or questions come up, we're here to help. If there's a concern with your infant or child's growth charts, we can explain them to you and walk you through the necessary steps. We're here to monitor and evaluate over time to ensure that your child has optimum health. If you're struggling with infant feeding, we have lactation specialists as well as additional resources that can help you. We can provide you with information on getting appropriate vitamin and mineral intake for you and your child. Through all the steps of your pregnancy and early stages of your child's life, we're here for you. Here's a typical WIC session on picky eaters. Children can be picky about their food based on the color or texture, or just because they're distracted at the table. But picky eating is common, especially between 2 and 5 years old. As long as the child's energy and growth are increasing, the child is getting enough food. But how do you cope with picky eating? First off, don't make it a big deal. Children will usually grow out of this phase once they reach school age. Include the child in shopping and cooking to let them get excited about new foods. You can let them pick out the fruits and vegetables at the supermarket or pick something they've never had before to try. You can let them help you cook as well. They can read you the recipe, stir ingredients, or even help to serve. You should offer choices at the meals. Instead of saying, "Do you want broccoli for dinner?" try, "Would you rather broccoli or cauliflower tonight?" Make mealtime a family affair. Eat meals together and eat all the same foods at each meal. And make mealtime happy. Talk about enjoyable things while you're eating. Include their favorite foods. For example, if their favorite food is chicken nugget and it seems to be all they eat, try serving a salad with chicken nuggets as the protein and everyone can enjoy it together.
In further detail, some things we can go over at WIC is bottle weaning. Bottle weaning should begin around 1 year old and should be done around 2. It is recommended that a sippy cup with water is provided at 6 months old. This teaches the child to bring the sippy cup to their mouths and to feed themselves independently. Solid foods can be introduced at 6 months. There used to be specific recommendations about introducing foods, but it has slowly become more relaxed based on the latest research. You should start feeding solids in teaspoon amounts and increase this amount over time. When introducing new foods, offer 1 food at a time and check for reactions for 3 to 5 days before introducing a new food. Introduce vegetables before fruit because they are less sweet. Use child-sized utensils when introducing foods to the baby. Introduce peanut-containing products at 6 months. It is now recommended to introduce high allergen foods such as peanut products at an early age. Wait until 1 year to introduce eggs and honey, and the sippy cup can be introduced at 6 months, like I said earlier.
So why choose breastfeeding? Breastfeeding has many benefits for mom. It has a reduced risk of breast cancer, ovarian cancer, high blood pressure, and type 2 diabetes. Babies who are breastfed are at a lower risk of acute ear infections, eczema, diarrhea, and vomiting, childhood obesity, type 2 diabetes, and more. Breastfeeding can be an amazing experience for you and your baby. WIC follows the American Academy of Pediatrics recommendation that breastfeeding should continue 1 year and beyond. WIC has food packages that look at the mother and baby as a pair. So if the more you breastfeed, the less formula you will receive. And the less formula you receive, the more food that mom gets.
Breastfeeding is a journey. There are ups and downs and feelings of accomplishment and frustration. WIC is there to help every step of the way, no matter what stage of the breastfeeding journey you're in. Our staff is trained in breastfeeding counseling with certified lactation counselors and international board certified lactation consultants. There is also the Peer Counselor Program, which is other moms who are experienced with WIC and breastfeeding. They provide easy access and support to other moms. WIC also provides breast pumps to moms depending on everyone's circumstances. If you need more information, you can visit breastfeedingpartners.org. A WIC peer counselor is a mother in the community with personal breastfeeding experience who is trained to give information and support to new moms. She will mentor, coach, and support you. So just a little bit more about the peer counselors at WIC. She can give you basic information about breastfeeding, ideas on how your family and friends can support you, ways to get a good start with breastfeeding, tips for a healthy supply of breast milk for your baby, support when you have breastfeeding concerns, tips on how to breastfeed comfortably and discreetly, even in public, advice to help you stick with breastfeeding after you return to school or work. We know breastfeeding questions can happen anywhere and anytime, so you can even reach some peer counselors outside of WIC clinic hours and locations.
Did you know feeding should be often and early? Most exclusively breastfed infants need to nurse about 8 to 12 times per day to ingest enough milk. Frequent nursing leads to an increased production of milk as a result of infant demand, and steady weight gain is the best indicator that your child is getting enough to eat. Other signs your baby is receiving enough milk is staying awake for the entire feeding, that the baby seems content after feeding, meaning the baby is not too tired or fussy, and has 6 to 8 wet diapers per day.
This is an example of something a WIC counselor would talk to moms about. There is a misconception about how much a baby needs to eat. As you can see here, a baby's stomach is extremely tiny when they are first born, and they don't need as much food as we think. On day 1, their stomach is only about the size of a cherry, and they need 1 to 1.4 teaspoons of breast milk to fill their belly. On day 3, their stomach is the size of a walnut, and they require 0.75 to 1 ounce of breast milk to feed their belly. 1 week, their stomach is about the size of an apricot, and they would need 1.5 to 2 ounces. And then at 1 month, their belly is about the size of a large egg, and they would need 2.5 to 5 ounces. Pay attention to hunger cues, which we will discuss in the next few slides.
Many moms think crying is the only sign that their baby is hungry, but actually it's a sign of distress. Hungry babies will show signs of hunger before they begin to cry. Watching for and responding early to your baby's hunger signs may help prevent them from crying. Once the baby is crying, it's harder to latch. So watch out for these signs that your baby's hungry and feed them right away. When their fists are moving to their mouth, their head is turning to look for the breast, they're becoming more alert and active, they're sucking on hands or lip smacking, and they're opening and closing their mouths. When your baby is extremely hungry, that's when it will begin to cry and become agitated and perhaps even turn red. Before feeding, calm your baby by cuddling or using skin-to-skin contact. And as you can see in the picture, it's a cycle of hunger cues and hunger signs. So you want to feed the baby at the earliest cues, and that's when the baby is stirring, the mouth is opening, or it's turning its head. The mid cues, which means the baby is really hungry, are when the baby is stretching, increasing physical movement, and the hands go to the mouth. And as I said before, for the late cues, that's when the baby's already crying and clearly agitated, and you need to calm the baby first before feeding.
Some signs that your baby is full include the baby releasing from the breast, the baby turning away from the nipple, relaxing its body and opening their fists, seeming content, not too tired or fussy. If your baby finishes eating on one breast and seems full, try burping your baby and changing their diaper if needed, then offer the other breast. If your baby doesn't seem interested or doesn't want to latch, they may not be hungry anymore. Some babies may eat from both sides at every feeding, while others may only eat from one side.
WIC has really changed a lot over the past 10 years. Let's go through some of the food packages and some options that you may have. For children and adults, whole or low-fat milk, tofu, cheese, soy milk, yogurt, goat's milk, or dry milk may be available. For fruits and vegetables, you can choose fresh, frozen, or canned. Whole grains include bread, brown rice, pasta, tortillas, and cereal. Dried or canned beans and peanut butter can be chosen for protein. Eggs, canned tuna, salmon for moms who are exclusively breastfeeding and not receiving formula, and 100% fruit juice. While we are not promoting specific brands, we are just demonstrating by the pictures on these slides that they are WIC approved and found in your local grocery store. So what can you do with foods from the supplemental WIC program? Yogurt can be chosen in flavored or plain varieties, and you can make smoothies or yogurt cups by adding fresh fruit or granola or a ranch dip mix to the plain Greek yogurt. A great way to use cheese, tortillas, and vegetables is to make a simple quesadilla. You can add in some flaked tuna or salmon. Peanut butter is a great way to ensure your children won't develop a food allergy to nuts. You can add it to smoothies, eat it on crackers, or whole grain bread. Tofu may seem a bit daunting, but whatever seasoning or sauce you marinate it in will be absorbed by the tofu. You can even try to bake tofu into breaded sticks like fish sticks. Creating chili bowls is a great way to utilize the beans and brown rice from the food package, and adding in canned vegetables if you can't get to the local store for fresh produce is a great way to get in vitamins and minerals. Eggs are a great breakfast food. You can bake breakfast egg cups in muffin tins and add vegetables. A great way to incorporate whole grains is by using oatmeal. You can add it to baked goods, make overnight oats, or even fresh oatmeal, and add some fresh or canned fruit that's not in syrup.
For infants, a food package could include formula, if not exclusively breastfeeding, infant cereal, baby food, fruits and vegetables, and baby food meats.
The WIC food packages provide supplemental foods designed to meet the special nutritional needs of low-income pregnant, breastfeeding, non-breastfeeding postpartum women, infants, and children up to 5 years old who are at nutritional risk. Here is a sample food package for a child. 3 gallons of milk, 1 pound of cheese, 32 ounces of yogurt, 1 dozen eggs, 1 pound of beans or 4 cans of beans, or 1 jar of peanut butter, 64 ounces of juice, which again, we just want to point out that your child should have no more than 4 ounces of juice per day, and it should be diluted with water, and to never put juice into a bottle, but use a cup. 1 pound of whole grains, which include bread, tortillas, rice, or pasta, 36 ounces of cereal, and a $9 credit voucher for fruit and vegetables.
Did you know some organic foods are WIC approved? This hasn't always been the case, but a lot of people do not realize that they have an option to buy organic foods with their WIC benefits. Approved organic foods include baby food, yogurt, tofu, fruits, and vegetables. And again, we are not promoting specific brands. We are just demonstrating that these items are WIC approved and found in local grocery stores.
eWIC provides a more convenient shopping experience. If you were an old WIC participant, you know that WIC used to provide checks per participant to bring to the grocery store. With eWIC, shoppers have fewer chances of misplacing or losing checks since the benefits are now loaded to a cart. This makes it easier and more discreet at checkout for both the participant and the cashier. The participant has the freedom to spread out WIC purchases. You don't have to use all your benefits in one visit. And at the end of the shopping trip, a receipt will show the remaining WIC food benefit balance. Families can use one card for all of their benefits now, so you don't have to keep track of the benefits per person. There are fewer errors at checkout using eWIC cards as well.
WIC2Go is a mobile app designed to make shopping easier for New York State WIC participants. The app can be used to find WIC clinics and WIC authorized stores and to scan barcodes to see whether foods are WIC approved. WIC participants with an eWIC account can also view upcoming appointments and their benefit balance and expiration date. To create an account, you will need your eWIC card number, your date of birth, mailing address, and your zip code.
This graphic just shows you how the WIC app will look on your phone or computer. The first screen on the left is the WIC Program sign-in screen. The middle shows the benefits page, which can show you what you have left and what you have used. You can scan UPC codes and see future benefits coming up. In the right screen, you can locate stores that have WIC-approved foods in them.
This video provides a quick overview of the eWIC card and app.
New York State WIC, a new way to shop. Welcome to the WIC Electronic Benefits Card, known as eWIC. You will access your WIC food benefits using your family's eWIC card, similar to a debit card. WIC foods are added to your eWIC card and become available to you and your family on the same day each month. Plan for your shopping visits and take advantage of all the healthy foods WIC offers. Here is how to get started. Before you go shopping, review your WIC shopping list. At your WIC appointment, you received a WIC shopping list of foods that you can buy for the month. Looking at this list will remind you of all the categories and amounts of foods available to you. WIC offers many healthy choices in each food category. Use the New York State WIC Pictorial Foods Guide or mobile app to help you choose the foods your family likes. Look for these tools on the New York State Department of Health webpage at health.ny.gov/WIC. To make shopping easier and faster, make a grocery list. Where to shop? There are lots of places where you can use your eWIC card, including major grocery store chains in New York. There are also many smaller grocery stores where you can use the card. Your WIC agency can give you a list of WIC authorized stores in your community. In addition, look for the We Accept WIC sign posted at the entrance of stores, usually on the front door or window. Each time you shop, you do not have to buy everything at once. The WIC food items you buy are subtracted from your monthly total, and any food remaining on your card will expire on the last day of your 30-day benefit cycle. At the store, when you are ready to check out, you can use any WIC cashier. Once all your items have been scanned and totaled, give the cashier any coupons. When you are ready to pay, use the eWIC card as your first form of payment. If you are buying items that are not on your WIC shopping list, you can purchase them using another form of payment. Some smaller stores may ask you to separate your WIC groceries from your other items and pay with your eWIC card separately. Be sure to keep your receipt. It shows your remaining WIC balance for your next shopping trip. We are sure you will find using the eWIC card convenient and a better way to purchase all your WIC foods each month and help you grow a healthy family. New York State WIC, a new way to shop.
Here's the contact information for our 4 Stony Brook WIC locations located in East Setauket, Bayshore, Hauppauge, and Farmingville.
If you need to go to a different WIC clinic, use this number or visit the website. During the COVID pandemic, all appointments are currently remote and over the phone. This may not be the case once the pandemic is over.